Big Three Girls Volleyball starts in just a couple seconds on Fred TV as New Bedford makes the trip to Durfee. Hello again, everybody. I'm Evan Massu, joined today by Coach Brendan Kelly, the head coach of the girls basketball team and the boys volleyball team. So great to finally have you doing a game with me, Brendan.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me, and excited to see a good match.
Certainly are. It's going to be a tough match for Durfee without a doubt. They come in at 4-4, but the opponents, New Bedford, come in at 7-0, having already beaten Brockton this season. Coach Macedo at the helm again, leading the way.
Yeah, Coach Macedo has been around for a long time. His program's, traditionally one of the best in the region, so it's going to be a tough game, but you always throw out the records when Durfee New Bedford play.
That's for sure. It's a great rivalry aside from being a conference match. Now, on the other side, the Hilltoppers have a young team. Coach Kelly telling me that 3 freshmen are on the varsity roster. That also shows that the future is bright.
Yeah, I think this is the healthiest the program's been in a long time. 3 get a lot of playing time, and there's 2 more that come off the bench. So, and all 5 girls that are only freshmen playing a lot of volleyball. So it's good for the future.
Certainly is, and it's going to make for a good match. We're going to get the headsets on. We'll have all the action for you next on Fred TV, so stick around. All right, Coach, the players are on the court. We're about ready to start the Big Three festivities here, and I got to tell you, it is very hot in here. It's been a hot week, but it is really fun to be back sitting courtside in the field house. It's so much closer than being up on the roof of the press box.
Yeah, it's definitely hot in here. The September has been a little bit hotter than it was all summer, so we're definitely getting the heat in here now.
It's a good break for my eyes, though, too, because I'll tell you, it's tough trying to see numbers from across the football field when you're up on a roof 20 feet up,
Yep.
So here we go. The Hilltoppers are going to start off. That's Emma Resendiz. She will serve for Durfee to begin the match.
And Durfee gets lucky off the first one. Looked like New Bedford was out of rotation off the get-go, so we'll take the free one.
There you go. So a quick 1-0 start. We said in the open, that New Bedford is 7-0. They've already beat Brockton, so they are looking quite strong to start this season. I mean, we're already basically at the halfway mark as Janice Leo comes up empty there, swatting it into the net.
Yeah, New Bedford year in and year out, they're always one of the best teams in the area. I know Coach Macedo very well from my days coaching the girls at Somerset, so he does a great job. And right here is a big reason why they're going to have a great season. She's a lot to handle.
Yeah, and Leo, I remember her actually from last year. She was a starter last year as a sophomore, and honestly, I can't remember if it was here against Durfee or if it was actually against Dartmouth, because, as you know, I do some games up in Dartmouth, too, with the community station up there on the side, and I remember her. She was very tough. We remember her from basketball, too. She played basketball, too.
She's made a gigantic leap in both sports over the last year. She's a junior now, but I would definitely consider her one of the more elite athletes in the area, and she can hit at all different angles. That was just a tough set for her, but she's so much bigger than everybody else at the net, so nice player.
Yeah, definitely gets a lot of power. I mean, she all legs, very, very, very thin, very tall, but she gets a lot of power behind her kills. And now we talk about height, though, and nice to hear from Coach Bullier that Durfee is a bit taller this year. They're a bit bigger of a team as well. She said our height has improved on average, and I mean that's always difficult because a lot of times we see that the girls volleyball teams, the girls are shorter than the guys, and the net doesn't change.
Yeah.
So it's good to see that as well. That should certainly help, especially up front.
Yeah, and a lot of the taller players that are in are they're younger players too. Celine Mela is only a freshman. Nicole and Cheryl Parks are 2 of the taller, only freshmen. So, that's great news for the program.
And, of course, Nicole and Cheryl, twin sisters. Yeah. They are the sisters of Denisha Parks,
yep.
Right? So another generation here, or should I say more siblings, really. Not another generation, but more siblings from the Parks family here at Durfee. Yeah, freshmen this year.
Yeah, future is bright for them on in multiple sports. And it's great, most kids don't grow up playing volleyball, so they pick it up when they get to high school, and they've done a real nice job of obviously fast-tracking it. They're seeing some varsity minutes, and not even halfway through the season.
And that serve was number 28. That's Liera Vasquez. She is wearing the libero, so we're going to see her kind of. Actually, no, I'm sorry. They've switched the libero on us today, so it's actually Morgan Carrera. She's wearing number 4. But Vasquez with the serve that last time. Durfee got the point, and we'll look to try to tie it up. It's 5-4 New Bedford in the early goings here. Set number 1. That will not make it over the net. Tough serve there for Celine. And we'll get to see Leo on her first serve of the evening here.
She hasn't, from what I've been read, hasn't been serving all year. This is a recent thing, and like the rest of her game, I'm sure that's coming along very well with Gabby Streeter with a nice little placement there. So.
Yeah, in talking with Coach Macedo beforehand, he said that he's had really no complaints over their last couple of matches. But one thing that he did say he's seen an improvement on is that their service game has gotten better over the from game 1 till now, or match 1 till now. And I wonder if Leo is a reason for that.
Yeah, if you're serving well from the back line and you're forcing the opposite team to play out of system, I mean, a lot of things are going to go your way. They're not going to be hitting the ball as hard. They're going to be off balance, and when you're getting those shots, they're easy to defend and easy to attack.
Quick whistle there.
There was a double hit on the setter.
That's a point for the Lady Whalers.
But Durfee keeping it close here, but a team like New Bedford, they can get hot in a hurry, and the game can get away from you.
Grace Mitchell on the serve, putting it over was Nicole Parks.
That was Nicole Parks.
Coming back this way, digging it out, and not enough there. Couldn't get under it as Resendiz went down, doing her darndest. There was nobody else. It was all her.
New Bedford serving the fourth or the fifth one in a row, and it's
dug out in
having
the back.
A tough time attacking right now, and this is where things can get out of hand quick. They got to get in their serve reception a little bit better.
Yeah, so now 10-5 the score in the early goings. We saw JV wrap up, and the Whalers from the JV team, they swept Durfee 2-0, so 2-0 win there. Nice tip over, but it's going to be out of bounds.
Very aggressive play. It's the right play to make. It just didn't land in, but that's the right play to make in this situation.
So we'll see the serve again from Mitchell. She's been busy. Streeto down to grab it. Resendiz with the set. Trying to finish it was DeCunha Silva. But New Bedford defended it well. Lifted there by Oquendo. And now back to DeCunha Silva. Couldn't get it over the net, but she got some good power behind it. Just missed it a little bit.
Yeah, Barbara swings hard. She's got a great swing. She's one of the better, more powerful hitters in the area. Right now they're having a hard time.
Yeah, I smell a timeout, and sure enough, Coach Bullier is going to call a timeout here. So we'll get 75 seconds. But this is exactly what you were saying, is that, a couple little errors here or there against a team that is wicked hot right now, and they're on about an 8-0 run, 7-0 run here, making it 13-5.
Yeah, it's not as much as the errors, is just the passing isn't in their system, so they're not hitting their first option ball or even their second option ball, and so it's just kind of going back over, and then New Bedford's lining up to their first option ball. So hopefully a timeout, get the ball back, and get a little more momentum Durfee's way.
Well, again, at 4-4, it is a young team. Coach Bullier told me that only 3 seniors graduated last year, so a lot of the girls are back, and then again there are a few freshmen on the list here, so it's it's a good thing to see because the program's just going to get better and better from here. I know that you in the spring had quite a few boys graduate. You guys lost quite a few for boys volleyball.
Yeah, we did, but we have a very healthy chunk coming back.
Good.
We had a couple passers. Brendan Rocket, our libero, is going to be very tough to replace. But I like where we're at with our returners. We have a couple kids coming up from the JV that had great years. So I'm very optimistic that we could have a very nice season in the spring.
And you guys did make the tournament last year,
which, yeah, I think was a great accomplishment considering the injury to Maka Curry. Maki was a great play by Nicole, and that's just off of instincts right now. When she learns the game, she's going to be fantastic at the net.
Yeah, that was a great block right there.
With the boys' season, Mark was probably going to be one of the better players in the area, and he lost the season to injury before it started. So it was a very nice accomplishment for my guys, battling through. So
there haven't been too many seasons between you doing girls hoops and boys volleyball that we haven't seen one of your teams make the tournament. I know there's been plenty of playoff games that we've covered.
Yeah, it's always a goal. It's a goal we set in both seasons, and it takes a lot of hard work, some great practice habits. Definitely looking to get back to it in basketball, and continue with volleyball. And I like what we potentially have for both units. And Gemily Perez, very good swing.
That is out. Oh, the save was tipped.
Off the tip.
That's a tough break right there.
Just out of the timeout, they start making a few things happen, and a tough play.
So the Lady Whalers will see one of the co-captains there, Gabriella Rivas, back on the serve. Little floater dug out, but nobody there to help out Streeto. That ball really kind of dropped quickly. It looked like it was going to go a lot further and just fell off the table.
And the first time I'm watching you, Bedford, I'm very impressed. They're not overpowering with their serves, but I'm watching them. They're definitely target serving. Their coaching staff is having them pick areas off, just like that one.
Yeah, that was outstanding. Talk about having just the right touch.
Yeah,
and you saw her adjust too. She moved more towards the center too.
They're getting. Much like baseball, they're getting signs from the bench as to where that ball's going, and you got to have the skill to put it there. And
of course, yeah.
Yep, and she's mixing it up really well. She's gone 3 separate areas the last 3 times.
Yeah, Hilltoppers weren't even able to try to get a set.
Another
Parks
great
with a
one by
block, but
Nicole.
it'll come back Durfee's way. Resendiz will set it, and that'll
Nice
get
job.
the ball back to the Hilltoppers as Perez does a nice job with the kill there. Too tough to handle.
We've said it before, a lot of the young girls playing, but that's a block by Nicole Parks, and then a great set by Emma Resendiz, who's only a freshman also, and playing, in my opinion, the toughest position on the volleyball floor at setter. So that's a heck of a job by her.
One of our students in the Fred TV program graduated last year. Sydney Resendiz played, obviously, and this is Emma. Emma is her younger sister, and so. One sister leaves and the other comes waltzing through.
Well, what's great about that is when you have siblings that are around the game, and Coach Bully has got a handful of her players that have had sisters or brothers play for either her or I, and they've been around the game a lot, and that makes a big difference. And Gabby Streeto's sister was a high school player, played in college, so she's been around the game. Gabby's really one of the better kept secrets in this area as a volleyball player. She's a very good passer, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and she's quiet. She kind of goes under the radar a lot of times.
I didn't even realize, honestly, I'm looking at the roster here. I didn't realize that she's only a junior. I feel like we've been saying her name for a while.
She's definitely going to be one of those players that by the time she's a senior, coaches have thought she's been around for for 10 years.
So
she's one of them.
Same with even actually Joe Camara. You talk about a sibling who's been around basketball, right? Between Rachel and Brianna playing for you, and then you have Joe coming in playing for Jameson.
And he plays for me too.
I thought that Joe was he plays for volleyball. I thought Joe was a senior last year. Actually, I'm like, what? You're coming back another year? I got to see you again.
Yep.
Time, when you start, the years start piling up. This is my 6th fall season covering these games, and slowly but surely now they're starting to pile up, and you start to kind of lose where everybody's at because you've gotten to know so many players, even in just the 6 years.
Yeah, and especially when you get those athletes that have been on the varsity level and been contributors at a young age.
Well, that's close, but just barely out.
Durfee got lucky there from
I think
our,
so.
from our seats. That looked like it could have potentially landed in.
So tough to tell when you just got the lines to work with, of course. Leo back in there looking for a point. No good. Nicely handled by the
great decision.
Durfee
That's
defense.
a very tough ball.
Oh, kept in. It went over and put away.
Good job
by
Celine.
Mayette. That was a good sequence there for Durfee.
Yeah.
Tough sequence to work with.
That's a good roof block there. From a coaching philosophy, I'm into that style, just tapping it right down. There's nobody there.
Well, I mean, I think that the thought process is got to get that set so you can get that point. And a lot of times you catch the defense napping when you do that. I know Joe Haneen used to do that a lot. And, of course, 1,000 assists?
Yeah.
1,000 sets,
yeah.
Right? But we used to see him do that a lot, where he'd go up like he's going to set it, and he'd just doink right over the net and catch everybody napping.
Joe Haneen, another one of those, her youngest sister, Jessie.
Yep.
Been around the game with her sister, Marielle, last year, and then Joe for 4 years, so she's seen a lot of volleyball.
Good hit there.
Quendo.
Quendo with the point, trying to keep the Hilltoppers alive in this first set. They've fallen behind 21-10. But a couple points here, back-to-back points, and they'll keep it going. Perez will continue serving.
Yeah, the goal in these situations are always to start getting some positive plays and, chip away. You may not win this set, but if you can take some solid plays over to the next set with you, gain that momentum right away. That's usually my philosophy with, these lopsided scores here.
So that one will turn it back over to New Bedford. Allison Borges on the serve, and it will drop down.
New Bedford just doesn't make many mistakes on that service line. They're not overpowering you, but I'd like it to a lot of a Greg Maddox style. Not throwing 90, but there's some good movement on there.
Exactly. How great was Greg Maddox, right? One of the all-time best.
Do you think there's anybody on the floor that knows who Greg Maddox is?
Probably not. Probably not. But, my grandfather was a Boston Braves fan, and my dad grew up watching both the Braves and the Red Sox. So he, Glavine, Smoltz, Maddox, big fans of those guys. And that will do it for set number one, game number one, however you wish to say it. It's a dominating first set for New Bedford, 25-10. They win it and go up 1-0 in this best-of-5 match. So obviously, I mean, you've been in situations where you come off a lopsided one. We were just talking about it. What would you say? What's going on in the huddle right now? As a coach, what is Kelly talking to the girls about?
Well, I mean, in this type of situation, I don't think they could have played. I don't want to say as bad as they did, but this is where it's at. It can only get better from here. So, you want to chip away couple possessions at a time, capitalize if they do make mistakes, and they're not going to be many of them. You got to capitalize them, and you just got to play with confidence. I'd like to see them get a little more aggressive at the service line. It can only come up from here, so a lot of match to be played, and that's one of the things that's going to be relayed, that there's a lot of match to be played, only one set.
Interesting to note, New Bedford, when they played Brockton, they swept Brockton in 3 games, so they took care of the Boxers, pretty dominating. They have beaten Bishop Stang. They've beaten Dartmouth. They've beaten Taunton. Actually, well, this will bode some confidence. Nobody else needs to know but us. But they have not lost a set. So talk about undefeated. They've swept everybody. this year. So things really actually going even better. I glanced at the schedule pregame, but I looked at the record. I didn't actually really look at the scores, but they have swept everybody 3-0 across the board. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, like anything, like
really
anything in
impressive.
sports, once you start building some of that momentum, the confidence starts getting through the roof, and to not drop a set, and we're almost in October. Plus they have that allure. I mean, they have an expectation where they're expecting to win when they're going into the gyms, and they have probably, one of the better players in the area. So it's definitely going well for them. Definitely going well.
We look at Durfee's schedule. They've played Somerset. They've played Westport, Bishop Stang, Seekonk, Bishop Conley, and then some of the games, Nantucket as well. That was actually here. And they swept Nantucket, so that had to be a long boat ride home for the folks from the island.
Yeah, they're a first-year program. I know the program's heading up there on Saturday, so should be. It's always fun getting on a ferry, and you make it a day out of it. It's a little bit out of routine, but I think it's going to be fun for them. Playing a different team, different area. It's
and
a little bit more than a bus.
There's always exactly, and there's always there's the cross country meet on Martha's Vineyard. My sister did that when she was here. Running cross country for Coach Lamar. So and again, you make a day out of it. It's a lot of fun. This is actually. For the girls here, I mean, they're pretty much getting close to wrapping up the home schedule, believe it or not, because they're in the middle of a 4-match homestand. This is match number 3. They got to play Seekonk, and then they only host Brockton and Conley in October. The rest of the game's on the road. So things not going to necessarily get easier for Durfee. They're going to have to go to their opponents' gyms and try to get it done there.
Yeah, like some of the professional teams when they have what they call it, the rodeo. The San Antonio Spurs do the rodeo trip with their 10-game away trip. It's going to be very similar for the Lady Hilltoppers in October. But
I'll never forget. You're talking about professionals hockey, and I'm pretty sure it was the season that the Bees won the Stanley Cup. Was it 2011?
2011.
I think it was. Yeah. If memory serves right, they went on that, I think it was like a 6 or 7 city, the Canadian tour. They hit every Canadian team, and they swept that road trip. And that was like where everybody basically was like, okay, the Bees are looking pretty serious, I remember that. That was pretty crazy, going from East Coast to West Coast. We're underway. Set number 2 has begun here. New Bedford started with the serve. They will start with the lead. The Hilltoppers have not led yet in the match.
Yeah, they tried to set Barbara DeCunha out of the back row, which is a good strategy. She just missed it. She's their best hitter. Good set.
Good set. Not enough power behind it, though. Leo.
Good job by Barbara. Lined her up, but the net call before the dig. But that's a good sign when you can line yourself up and defend her. More times than not, that ball's going straight down.
That'll go out, and the back line there will just duck out of the way. So Morgan Correa gives possession back.
These are the situations where I think Durfee can take advantage of a mistake and be aggressive on that back service line.
So 2-1 here, Whalers, and Resendiz will serve. Good serve there towards the left side, kind of going across the court for the player's perspective, and Leo buries it into the court for the point.
Gabby got her hands on it. She's got her lined up. It's tough when you have a big swing like that, and no matter what type of block we throw up, she's going to be able to jump on over it. But they've got her lined up.
That one doesn't clear the net as Sachina Tasuda served, and she'll continue. A senior. Tasuda is a senior. Third hit, and that is going to come right at us. We thank Mr. Resendiz for that assist.
Keep it out of the booth up here.
Yeah.
And again, New Bedford is, they're not overpowering, but they've got some nice. That's a great floater. Those are very tough to pick up.
Good touch there from Parks. And unable, though, to handle it from Cece Ramirez, another senior for the Whalers. They actually have, let's see, 4, 5, 6 seniors on the squad. A couple sophomore and a couple juniors. No freshmen for Coach Macedo.
Great attack out of the back row. Very good job. And that's what they tried to do the first play of the game. You know, the ball was right on that 10-foot line, so it's a little easy to attack. So great play by Barber, and a great set by Emma Resendiz.
So it gives the Lady Hilltoppers the ball back. Perez on the serve. And they'll set up Leo. And that time soft touch, but they're calling the net. Durfee will keep possession and get the point out of that.
No, that was a net on Durfee.
Oh, my bad.
That was a defensive net violation. So the ball will be
It is New Bedford,
New
so
Bedford.
they get the freebie too. They get the freebie.
And that's what happens when you have a height advantage at the net. The defense tries to overcompensate, and that's where you'll start getting some net calls, and it's tough. And Nicole Parks is a tall girl, and Janice Leo is a tall
Even
girl
taller.
too. Yeah. Nice pass by Mara Dias.
That one kind of rolled off the fingertips of Parks. That's going to roll. That looks like it might have been long, and it was just barely over the line.
Yeah, Gabby Strito does a great job in the back. I know there was some talk. Coach Bouya was, thinking about having her hit. But I just think she's such a good defensive player and such a good passer that, you take that away. I think you take away a lot of your attack. So she does a great job back there.
And she will serve. Tasuda digs it out. Leo gets the set.
Oh, it's the third time they've got her dug up.
Another freebie for the Lady Whalers.
Yeah, once again, that's a direct relation of their attack, and they're trying. These are hustle plays in volleyball. You just, unfortunately, they're touching the net. You can't.
And that will be short. So Durfee gets the freebie back on the errant serve, and we'll see Adriana Fernandez serve.
Another former player of mine, sister. She's been around the game. I mean, I can't do the math in my head right now, but she's been in the game around here with her brother Manuel. Was a great player for me. And her sister Allie last year, nice player for Kelly. Another former player, Jesse and Ian's sister walking in. So there's a lot of former players, siblings.
So 10-3 now. Appears we saw another net violation there. Rivas with the set. Tasuda gets the kill.
Nice spot down the line. It's
wide open hole there on that left corner. Everybody was kind of shading to that far side.
Hit them where they ain't.
There you go. That'll make it 11-3. Mitchell with another good serve. Looking to set up Barbara DeCunha Silva, but it's a little long. Mitchell ready to go again. That one going to go outside, wide to the right. Durfee will get the ball back.
Yeah, they had a hard time with Mitchell the last time she was on that service line, so they got out a little easy with her this time.
Yeah, they really went on that good run that kind of sparked the timeout call from Coach Bouya. So Mitchell will have to wait another rotation. Good serve there, too tough to handle. Liera Vasquez could not play that one cleanly. A good serve from Barbara.
Barbara's got a good jump serve. I'd like to see her get a little aggressive and leave her feet here tight on the net. There we go, Durfee.
Another point for the Lady Hilltoppers. Tasuda were not able to get that one over the net. And Barbara can't get that one to go over either. A little short, kind of flat right at the screen there. Bouncing back.
like we said, a couple positive plays, and 5-point deficit is nothing in volleyball. So hopefully Durfee can get a couple more aggressive plays. And
we talked about serve. Mitchell was on a roll. Well, so was Rivas. And she's serving again now. Again, kind of mixing it up, changing speed and stuff like that. I mean,
I was very impressed last time. She literally hit 3 different zones 3 times in a row, totally different zones too. And
that's why she's a captain.
Yep.
Going on the far side, and unable to get it over was Perez.
Good hands at the net.
Good crowd on hand here at the field house, as we always come to expect when these two teams square off. That is going, gone, long.
Yeah, it's actually always, this is a great time for a volleyball match in both seasons, because everybody's coming out of practice, and a lot of the kids tend to stick around and watch, and we get pretty good crowds for volleyball games.
Well, that was a good serve too. Got lucky. It's still in play, but more than 3 touches there.
If she can do that again, that is a very, very, very tough spot to receive and attack from.
That one a little higher from Mayette. Yeah, a little deeper on the, but on the 3rd touch, they got to send it back over. So Durfee with a chance to try to set and get the point.
Great decision by Gemily Perez.
Correa dug it out. That's sent back over by Mondaire. And now DeCunha Silva with a hard hit there. Played well by Ramirez. Sent over by Tsuda, and unable to handle it was Mayette.
Yeah, they did a nice job. Barbara, like I said, she swings very, very hard, but they lined her up and they went right back at them. And, it's ultimately they're forcing them to play defense too.
One of the better volleys there between both sides that we've seen in the match. Correa with the serve again. Played by Haneen. And Parks can't get it to go over.
On the positive, freshman to freshman to freshman. That's there's not a lot of varsity teams that can say that. So, they're only going to get better with situations like this and playing against good competition. So,
yeah, one of the things that I kind of touched on in some of the earlier games, we did some soccer and some football. This was the first volleyball match we've done. But, when you're coming out of the summer, it doesn't matter how much training you do in the off season. Coming in fresh in the fall, there's always going to be some rust. You got to get that field time, or in this case, court time, and all that. It's so invaluable. You can have practice all you want, but I would imagine there's nothing like the live game.
Oh, and especially for freshmen, they've literally never been in situations like this before. So it's, the more, like you said, the more you play, the more valuable it is, and they're only going to gain great experience from this. So.
Resendiz on the serve. It's a good one. Going to set up Leo. She's back in front. Oh, borderline, but it'll just land in bounds. That'll bring the lead back up to 9. It's 19-11.
They went a little quick there on their tempo offense, and she's got such a long reach. That's a nice play on the Bedford side.
I have to imagine it's going to be a little tricky, too, for the setters, too. They have to probably set it a little higher for Leo than they do for anybody else.
Yeah, their quicks, for such a long reach, their quicks, it's totally different.
Yeah.
But they look like they've got it down very well. Doesn't look like there's too much of an adjustment on that end.
And that brings it now, it was actually a 7-point lead, now back to a 6, so 18-12. I had said 19, but it was actually 18. That'll go out. Now 19.
Durfee doing a nice job attacking out of the back row. That one just landed just outside, but I like they're thinking mixing things up a little bit.
Now, we've also been hearing, of course, the rumors and things are in the works for hopefully a new high school. We get, they'll have to go before the voters, of course, but the talks are that the field house should be renovated. I would say much needed. The floor's not in bad shape. They did the floor
2006, I believe.
Yeah, it was right before I graduated from here in 07. So, and then after 10 years, the way it looked before they redid it, it was really bad. This has been really well maintained, but the bleachers have given us some issues before.
And these have to be the original bleachers, I'm assuming.
I believe so. They don't make them like this anymore. they're all plastic with the little handrails. But I mean, the thought process with keeping the gym is, you're not going to get something this big if they were to build another gym, another field house. And this really is a field house. This isn't just a gym. So we got a timeout on the court. But this place really is huge. It's so versatile. You can use it for so many things.
Yeah, this is. I mean, I'm biased with this, but when the talks of the new school, I'm very happy that there's talks of renovation. This place has been very dear to me my entire life, and in my opinion, when this place is packed, I think it's one of the best venues in the state to watch a basketball game or a big sporting event in here. And
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, they don't make it like they used to anymore. There's not, with these new schools, these field houses, they don't exist anymore. So, to keep ours, I think it's a very valuable asset.
I think the only two that really come to mind, with sheer size, the depth of the bleachers and stuff like that come to mind, and I think they may be a little newer of the school. Well, obviously, Dartmouth High School is newer, and the Carlin Lynch Activity Center, that is really quite massive. But what makes it bigger is that the bleachers are only on one side.
On one side, yes.
Which I don't necessarily like, but that's, topic for another day. And then, of course, Taunton, where a lot of the sectional games are played, like for basketball and stuff in the playoffs. That's usually a neutral site. Taunton is pretty big, too.
Yeah,
and they got the wooden floor for center court, which is just absolutely fantastic.
Taunton went through a full renovation. I'm going to say in the 2011-2012 years. And I love that they have a nice wooden floor in the middle, and then they have the multi-purpose surface on the outside of it. So really, really nice venue too.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. We done a couple games, as you know, over at Somerset. One of my former colleagues took the position over there to start up that TV program a year ago. And,
oh, great.
We still try to do some stuff with her in conjunction. I mean, it's a great rivalry. We know the people over in Somerset and Swansea Cable, and, so it's all like playing nice in the sandbox, basically, to coin a phrase. And seeing that gym, it's huge. It definitely is big. But there's no real center court, which is very strange the way it's set up. I was kind of surprised. So you have basically two full courts separated by a divider, not unlike Portsmouth even, too. Portsmouth, Rhode Island, Portsmouth High School. They have it set up the same way. I really, that's kind of strange to me. Like, I like the center court thing, how it's set up here at Durfee.
Yeah, Somerset's a tough place to play.
Yeah.
Tough place to coach. That visual stuff, it matters. Bishop Stang Volleyball is a very tough place to play and coach. If you've ever been in there, their court's off to the corner. So
I did not realize that.
Yeah, very tough place to play. It's not in the center where most volleyball courts are. It's kind of pushed off to the side. So
that's funky.
All the dominant lines don't match up, so tough place to coach. But, Somerset, beautiful gym, very big.
So, for us, for filming, we love it because that upstairs, the walking track that runs above it, the perimeter, we can be completely isolated from the crowds and get like a bird's eye view of everything. It's an awesome angle.
Just like at Quincy.
Yes, yes.
Great game up at Quincy.
Oh, man. That game was incredible. That was, of course, Bree's senior year.
Yeah.
That was an incredible comeback. Lady Hilltoppers here in volleyball, trying to stay alive. They survived one set point, and they get the ball back. So 24-15. The Lady Whalers trying to go up 2-0, though. That's a good serve. Trying to finish it off.
The antenna.
Borges can't do it. And we'll see Barbara serve again, so 24-16. Another good serve. Oh, good fake there. And Durfee bought it without a doubt. That was a Mondare who faked them out.
Very good spot on her end. That's a tough spot to defend if you're not rotating over fully.
So the Lady Whalers have gone up like they have on every other opponent this year, 2 sets to none. This one a 25-16 final. So the Lady Hilltoppers battled back a little bit, got 6 more points in that first game, but now really a ton of work to do as their backs are against the wall.
Yeah, now it comes down to this. They got to stop believing that they can compete with them, and they got to slow the set down and play it one possession at a time. There's no 3-pointers, there's no 5-pointers. You know, you got to win the point in front of you, and you know, New Bedford, it's a tough team, but you know, this is what playing real good volleyball is supposed to be about. So, you know, still plenty of time. It's a 5-set match, not a 2, not a 3. So they got time, not plenty of time, but.
Now what's that old axiom? It ain't over till it's over, right?
Yep. Slow the game down in front of them, and you know, get the point in front of them.
We're going to just take a quick look while we have another 90 seconds here in between. We'll take a look at the road ahead. So New Bedford in the midst of a 3-match road trip. They are here now at Durfee, and then we'll head to Case in Swansea. Case has a great program, and then they'll return home to host Dartmouth High School next Wednesday, so a week from now. So they got a Friday match and then next Wednesday, and then they're back out on the road.
Case High School former Hilltopper Michaela Gonzalez at the helm over there has done a really, really nice job since she's taken over.
And again, Case always strong in pretty much every sport. The Cardinals have a great program over there. Durfee, they will play this Friday. They're going to host Seekonk, and then they head on the road for 2. You mentioned on Saturday they're going to be heading to Nantucket, and it looks like it should be a really nice day too. So they should have good travel weather. And then you know, got to get Jose and Maria and Lee out of the ocean, so they're not going through these 8-foot swells. Wouldn't be too fun.
Talking to Coach Bouya today, she was like, "I hope the weather's going to be nice for us to go when we're over there." So.
And then after Saturday's match on the island, they will head to, you just mentioned, Bishop Stang, so they'll have to deal with the wacky court over there before coming back to face Brockton here on Friday the 6th, which is a game that at the moment we do have on the calendar. We're planning to be here for that, and I'm hoping that you can join us for that one too, if you're able to.
If I'm getting the invite back, I'd love to do it.
Oh, of course. Please, I let Greg Sullivan from the Herald and Vic Pereira come on for basketball, and that was a lot of fun. We love to mix it up here, and what better than to have someone like you, a coach, be as an analyst as well. I mean, it adds great insight, and plus nobody wants to just hear me babble on talking to myself for 3 hours. I do that enough.
Well, 2 out of the 2 games deep, I'm happy to say I'm having a blast.
Yeah.
So.
You're a natural.
Pencil me in for the 6th.
All right. Greg, I'll tell you, with basketball, Greg from the Herald, he's usually the one here for the bigger games. Mike Thomas tends to kind of do more of the road stuff or hit some of the other games, and we saw Greg here a lot. And in past years, I'd always, this table we're sitting at is quite long. You could fit 2 people and then a third and even a fourth if necessary. And with Coach Cruz doing PA down at the scores table, he took Sully's scoring spot. So Greg came up here, and he'd always chirp in with some one-liners while we're trying to do the game. And I'm like, Greg, you're going to do this for real.
Yeah, put him on the spot and make him.
We're going to do this for real. I said, you got a plan. I said, you can score and talk. And he's like, all right. He's like, all right, Masood. We're going to we'll get you. We'll get a game in there. And so I'm glad that he did. He did the big 3-game boys against Brockton here last year with me, and that was a lot of fun.
The state tournament game or the regular season?
Regular season. I had Vic for the playoffs.
That was a great game.
And, it really was. And it's funny. I was watching it back. I was going through some of the old games, and I was watching it back, the ending there. And
great swing by
It
Leo.
It was a crazy ending to that game because, Nillen took the open shot for the 3. Durfee was drawing fouls. I honestly thought coming out of the timeout, I thought they were going to drive the lane and try to just get the layup. That had been working. So I was surprised at the three. I said, well, there you go. Try for it. Try for the kill shot, you know.
Great swing by Barbara.
And then they had that, the 0.2 seconds.
And that was the situation where there was too many guys on the floor or not enough.
Yes, I know. And, you know, I got to tell you, it's always easy as a fan or even as a broadcaster to criticize the officials, right? Because they're the ones making the calls. But we always try to give them the benefit of the doubt. And last year, especially in that game, the main official was outstanding. I don't know his name. I don't know who he was. But he was outstanding. And in that situation, he was very clear. We have our mic on the scorer's table, so we were able to pick it up on the broadcast. And he said, I never set the ball in play.
Yep.
So his co-official never gave the ball to Joe Camara. And with the ball not in play, there aren't too many men on the court.
Yep.
And nobody realized that. And even I didn't realize it. And Vic, I was screened, so I couldn't see that Joe didn't have the ball. Vic could see it, and he was the one who said it. And I watched it back, and I'm like, I'll be done. He was right. He noticed
and regardless, that's a tough way to end that game
I know.
if that is the case. So.
Yeah. I know. And Brockton wasn't too pleased having to come here either. It was like a coin toss, basically, because they beat us. We weren't even supposed to play here technically, but there was something in the
good hands by Nicole Parks.
Something in the books that we ended up getting to host that game.
Well, once you get to those coin flip scenarios,
yeah,
it's just a matter of winning the coin flip. So we've been on some great ends of that before. Durfee's going to get their serve receive down and attack before this gets out of hand.
Yep, Tasuda with the serve there for New Bedford, and Hilltoppers now going to be down 8-0 here in game number 3, set number 3, and they are down 2-0. So the Lady Whalers trying to go for that sweep and keep perfection in the record books.
And once a few things don't go your way in volleyball, it tends to be a domino effect. So
that is a little long. I like the idea, getting some power there from DeCunha Silva, but just a little long. Didn't get enough of that downward motion on the ball. So Tasuda going to continue serving a 9-0 score here in the third set.
A great pass.
Resendiz with a good set there. And the Hilltoppers will get a point. That was a good sequence here. Fernandez, I believe, got the kill on that.
Very impressed with Resendiz's decision-making. It's not easy to be a setter, let alone be a setter as a freshman. So, and not easy when you serve receive. Hasn't been fantastic. So she does a good job of keeping her head and making good decisions.
Streeto able to play that off of Leo. And DeCunha Silva sends it back over. They'll try to set up Leo again. A whistle coming.
Net violation on the Hilltoppers.
And as you said, we've seen that a lot tonight. So 10-1, and the Whalers will take back over on the serve. And we will see, this is number 25, Allison Borges. She's had a couple opportunities to serve. Not as many as Rivas and Mitchell or Tasuda, but we've seen her a couple times.
And that had some real good zip on it. And she's hitting it with an open hand. She's got a lot of movement on that. That's a great serve.
And you know the thing is you know, again, we go back to like baseball. We had a timeout. Not surprised. Durfee calls the timeout with a 12-1 deficit. But you know, when the ball goes like that with no spin, basically like a knuckleball in baseball, I mean, it really could just go any which way.
Well, that's exactly what it's doing, and she's got some power behind it. So it's almost like thinking of a knuckleball, but a real fast one. And you know, those tend to drop too. So that's a very, very good serve.
So 12-1, New Bedford up here in the third set and pulling away, trying to make quick work of Durfee. They would improve to 8-0. The nice thing is you just heard that woo from behind us. The fans still in it here, still supporting the Lady Hilltoppers.
Still a good crowd.
Oh, yeah. And too, I mean, this has been a really fast-moving match too. I mean, we started right about at 5 o'clock, and it's not even 6 o'clock yet. So real time, not even an hour's passed. It's been pretty quick.
At this point, I've said it before. They want to come out and try and do some positive things with the play in front of them, and take whatever positive momentum they can, to the next play and the next set and the next game. So,
thinking about what you guys do here with the gym. I know you do some of the summer programs, do the Hilltopper basketball camp. You guys ever consider doing? Pardon me if they do, but a volleyball camp for a week too.
Yeah, there's been some camps in the past.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some Kelly ran some clinics before. As a matter of fact, that's actually how we, I don't want to say discovered, but that's how we got Brendan Rocket.
Really?
Brendan Rocket's actually a phenomenal runner, and Coach Bouya had him in a clinic, and
what a block!
Basically gave him no choice but to play volleyball.
Durfee's gonna get the point on this, if you can believe it. Some frustration too showed there by Borges for the Whalers, because they thought they had the point for sure.
Well, and she was on fire from that back back line. She wanted to stay in the back. She wanted to stay in the back line.
She certainly did.
She had it dancing.
Oh, good dig from Strito, and just out of reach from DeCunha Silva. But yes, I know that Coach Kelly does the enrichment program during the summer. She does some of that stuff during the summer here at Durfee, and there are some camps and stuff that she'll do that have to do with the sports and stuff. But I feel like that'd be great to see a week-long volleyball camp, kind of like the Hilltopper camp, the basketball camp.
Yeah, like all the camps, it's about establishing some numbers and some interest, and then maintaining that stuff. So it's definitely something. With the boys, it's tough with the boys because they you got to show them the hitting first, and then show them everything else after. So you almost spend a couple days just hitting, and then you're like, all right, well, there's other parts of the game, but yeah, it's definitely we definitely got the facility for it.
What I always love is the DA's office always does the Brian Rose baseball camp when we can have a full-on baseball clinic inside in March. With wiffle ball going on one end, tossing the batting cages. I mean, it shows you the versatility of this facility and why it's so important.
I remember when I was a kid, Coach Schwinnard used to run one, and like you said, in March, right before it was time to go outside, and
great serve.
Yeah, we were doing everything inside here.
Adriana Fernandez with the ace, and it's 15-5.
Fernandez only a sophomore, gained valuable experience, does a nice job on that service line.
That one just gets over as well. Good touch on it. And put into the court by Nahemi Mondaire.
She just jumped right over the block. That was a good leaper.
Yeah, climbed the ladder for sure to give control back to the Lady Whalers, and they are just 9 points away of a clean sweep.
Just a junior, her and Leo, the two main attackers, still got another season ahead of them. It's a great pass by Strito.
DeCunha Silva, that's in.
Good job,
got
Durfee.
got the downward movement on that. It landed just on the line.
A little bit more of that. Simple bump, set, and spike.
There you go. And now she'll serve after the spike.
Got New Bedford out of system here. Let's see if Durfee can get a good attack.
And Tasuda had to send it over, and that goes into the net. Perez didn't get a good hit on it. Almost basically hit her wrist. Didn't get the hand.
Perez has had a nice season this year as the opposite hitter of Barbara DeCunha Silva. She's got a nice swing on her. She's been a bright spot for them this year as a senior captain, so she's doing a nice job.
Here is Rivas. She's getting to serve again.
The right idea.
Right idea. It just didn't materialize. Mayette could not get it over. Again, I like the fake. I thought we were going to see Perez take it, try to get some redemption on the last one, and they kind of faked it out. And that'll fall right in. Rivas, again, with the serves, looking strong. 19-6.
Coach Macedo going to his bench a little bit.
Yeah, moving things around. Allison Pereira's in there, number 26. Good strong serve that time, and it's going to be a tough play, and it's going to fall in.
Being the first time I've seen New Bedford this year, I'm as well as their hitters hit and the tempo of their play, I'm very impressed with their serving. And not making many mistakes, and they're really mixing things up. Another back row hit.
Yeah, I think many people may not realize that, you know, when we say service game is important, and we don't just mean getting it over the net. You know, we're talking this. You got to hit certain zones. There's a whole strategy to it. It's not just, oh, get it over to the back line and then try to defend.
Yeah, there's
a totally different animal.
Yeah, there's a big difference. And, you know, the elite teams, you know, they've got the defense moving. They haven't served it to the same spot twice often.
Yeah.
You know, and every serve is with a purpose. Every serve's got a little bit of a different spin, different float to it.
Well, that was going out, and Correa decided to play it. We'll see if it ends up hurting New Bedford as Durfee gets it back now, trying for the point, and Durfee will get the point. That breaks the run there. Perez gets the point for the Hilltoppers. 21-7 the score. That one, they probably should have let it go. The Whalers would have had it.
That's an aggressive play. That's one of those ones, if you let it go, it lands in. If you play it, it lands out. It's better off playing those sometimes.
Nice serve there.
Got New Bedford out of system. Now it's time to capitalize.
Going to Parks. Parks gets it to fall in. It was defended actually well there by Mondaire at the net. She just couldn't handle it.
Another one of those.
She jumped too early, maybe.
Another one of those cool situations of freshman to freshman to freshman.
Yeah. Mayette will serve again.
Freshman on the service line.
There you go. It is pretty remarkable when you. It's like, are we watching varsity or are we watching JV?
Well, and the great part is they're fighting for. They're very much alive for a state tournament berth.
Could win half your games.
And
they've won half their games.
Yeah, and the expectation is to be in the state tournament, so that's even better for the program. You know, sometimes when a lot of freshmen are playing, it's maybe a rebuild or a reload. I mean, they're expected to be in the state tournament, and that's great for that program.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if they go down 0-1 here in the Big Three, that's never a good thing, and then it'll put New Bedford up 2-0. That's always tough to reel in someone who's 2-0 in a three-team race. You know, you only get 4 chances to play them, but you know, at 4-4, looking like 4-5 now, as we have a match point here, and it'll be Mondaire serving for the Whalers, trying to serve out. Yeah, again, I mean, very much in this are the Lady Hilltoppers. Got to get it over on the third touch. Keep it going. They will. How about that?
That's a tough swing. One-footed takeoff from the basketball foul line, but
yeah,
players can make those plays.
It dropped right in, and now the fate of the Hilltoppers here. The last life rests on Emma Resendi's shoulders. Little pop fly, and it falls in. I like it. A little trickery there.
That nice little spot. Very tough balls to pass.
You know, she slowed up. It looked like she was going to give it a full blast, and then she kind of slowed it up. That's a good serve, too. Looking to end it. It goes out of bounds. Still alive.
Do something positive on each play. That's what you're looking to do at this point. Be aggressive on the service line and defend.
Leo will play it. Streeto keeps it in. Resendiz sends it back. Barbara DeCunha Silver can't get it over. And that's going to do it from the Fieldhouse Game 3. 25-11, the point total for New Bedford in the sweep. They sweep the Lady Hilltoppers in Big 3 play, 3-0, and they continue to be perfect on the season. Sweeps across the board. I mean, that is just incredibly tough to do.
It's been a good September for Coach Rosito and the Lady Whalers. And you know, I've known him for a long time. They're going to continue to strive to get better, and they're not just going to be happy with a good September. You know, their ultimate goal is deep in November. So, you know, I think they're just scratching the surface. I was very impressed with how well they played.
Well, the way they're playing 8-0 now, never like to jinx anybody, but as we were saying before the game, they very well could run the table the way that they're playing. They've played half their games practically, and they have not backed down at all. They've only gotten stronger. So a good showing by New Bedford. Lady Hilltoppers definitely overmatched, but again, not out of it. They're 5-4 and very much in a tournament berth situation.
Yeah, they've got two very big games coming up with Seekonk at home on Friday. That's a team that they beat 2 weeks ago, and same thing with Nantucket. So they've got to have a short memory with this game. They've got to have a great practice tomorrow, and then, you know, they're right back at it. Two very, very important games. So, you know, it's a learning process, and a lot of season to be played.
All right, next on Fred TV in terms of high school sports, we're going to get our first look at the Diamond Bengals football team. Coach Steve Winarski, as they will play here at Durfee on Friday. We'll have that game for you on Monday after the weekend. And then our next girls volleyball game, our next girls volleyball match, rather, will be on October 6th, and that'll be more Big 3, and we will pencil you in because this was a lot of fun, Coach. Thanks for being here.
I had
okay?
a blast. Thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks again for watching, folks. A 3-0 sweep by New Bedford over Durfee in Big 3 play. For Coach Kelly, Tyler Texera behind the camera, I'm Evan Massoud. So long from the Fieldhouse.